welcome to another episode of Exceptional TV with me, your host, Alex Granger. Today, I am privileged to be speaking to Welcome Witbooi, international speaker, amazing dude. He runs a foundation, he's a writer, he's an actor. So let's just get under his skin and find out a little bit more about who this man is. Welcome.
Thank you.
I always wanted to say that. I know you do that at many places where you get a welcome sign, and I've seen you taking photos.
Exactly.
We did that walk in Durban the one time, and you took a photo of that sand thing. Remember there was the welcome.
Yeah, welcome there.
Yeah. But listen, it's really great to have you on set.
It's good to be here.
And just to have great conversations around part of your journey, part of your life. Maybe we can start right there and ask the question: who is Welcome Witbooi?
Whenever I'm asked who is Welcome Witbooi, I think about how people sometimes look at me. Ex-offender, ex-general. There's so many things that they have, and they constantly take me back into that past.
To who you were.
Yeah, to who I was. My past. Yeah. And the only thing that I always want to say to people is that if they look at me now and they ask me who is Welcome, now I am an inspirational speaker. I'm an actor. I'm a writer. I'm a father. That's who Welcome is. You know. Do
you ever find people doubt the transformation, the change in you? Because it's easy, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but a lot of people who would go to prison and serve a long time find Jesus, right? And the question is always when they come out, are they going to stick on that path, or was it just a means to an end to kind of really deal with issues? And I've known you for quite a while now, less than a year, but we've been in touch quite regularly, and I haven't sensed anything that would make me think that this is fake. But how have you dealt with suspicious people who have looked at you and said, you found Christ or you found God, so what? You're still the same oak and we don't trust you.
No, that happens a lot where people sometimes question a motive, or they question the work I do, thinking that I'm only doing it because I want to actually prove a point.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, but I think for me I've been out of prison now for almost 7 years.
Right.
And I think that when you look at the reoffending rate, people that normally come out of, ex-offenders that come out of prison, within the first 2 years,
they're back in
prison.
Yeah.
So I think that it's all about time and the duration, and how long you spend being outside.
Okay.
But not only that, but also the kind of work you do.
That's right.
Proves to people that after 5 years, this guy cannot be pretending anymore.
No,
he's been doing this for 5 years, and he's continued doing this work.
The same thing, exactly.
And he's just excelling. He's just going higher and higher. Yeah. So obviously, this is something that he's driven by passion. He's driven by real motivation.
It is who you are.
It is who I am. And then the suspicions and rumors about they end fading away. And I can't hold myself to that either.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. Is you can't be living your life trying to appease people and how people feel. You got a life to live, and I think a lot of us actually struggle with that. Is that we out to impress people by the lifestyle that we live, the cars we drive, the suburbs we live in, and we don't really live our lives.
Exactly.
We're living lives so that people can see what our lives are, but that's not the truth.
And that's the thing for the young people, and that's why I always say to young people is that I know that there's a lot of pressure on them to be part of something, to be part of a crew, to be part of, and for me it's you know how nice it is to be part of yourself.
Yes.
To wake up in the morning and only look in the mirror and say, how can I be great and how can I be awesome today?
Liberating, actually.
That's it. And sometimes it's difficult. Because there's such a lot of pressures out there that force our young people to go into gangs, that force our young people to go into areas that they are not supposed to go into, but because they lack a sense of belonging.
Yeah. Now, isn't it scary with your rings and your I mean, I don't want to be on the wrong side. Just saying. Because if you're going to knock a punch, is there any significance to these rings, or is it just style?
I think for me the significant part of the rings is the fact that it all has a reason. It all has purpose. It has symbolism. and it brings the coffee right onto set. That's cool. Okay, so there's a whole lot of significance attached with the ring. For instance, I'm part of the Mankind Project, and within Mankind Project, I'm known. My animal name is the unicorn. So this is the unicorn.
Okay.
It's a ring made of silver and platinum, so it's a combination of both elements, which is quite cool. Yeah. And I only wear silver because silver is a kind of mineral that carries energy. Okay. You know, gold doesn't carry any energy. It just looks nice.
Yeah.
But there's no significance to that. Okay. Each ring has been given to me because it means something. Like the first two rings here would be, this is the ring of transparency is truth, and this is a ring of integrity. Okay. So when I look at these rings on my fingers, I'm reminded by the journey that I'm taking and the fact that I'm not pointing fingers.
Yeah.
I can't point fingers because these rings are a symbol of the journey that I've walked.
Right.
And it all reminds me of that. So it's all symbolic. Yes, it does look dangerous because I come from a dangerous past.
Right.
But I've eased myself into a future that no longer holds me captive.
Now you've got a tattoo on your hand. I also got a tattoo. So so sorry for you. We both got tattoos.
And yours is music?
Mine is music. And
mine is a 5-pointed star that's written with the symbols of BS, which stands for Basitana Strafibus. Oh. It's the gang which I belong to, which is a Latin name for the strong ones.
Do you still have friends that were in the gangs that you led?
Yes, I still have.
Inside and outside?
I've lost many of them due to gang wars and drugs and all of that. Some of them are in prison as we speak. Others are outside but struggling to make a living. Some of them have decided to step out of the gangs and try to live a normal life, but it has been very difficult for them because of, as we said, stigma, discrimination.
Very difficult.
And some of us, I mean, for me, education was my saving grace.
Right.
I continued studying while I was in prison, and many of my friends chose not to study. They chose just to come out of prison.
Right.
So it's that kind of challenges that they face as well.
So apart from being a speaker and writing and stuff like that, you've got a foundation. Mm-hmm. What's the name of your foundation?
The name of the foundation is called the Heart and Soul Foundation. And
what is its involvement? What area of speciality do you work in?
We specifically work with boys and girls caught in gangs. Okay. And we work in communities that are like underprivileged communities, where people are struggling or families are struggling to understand the role that a family plays. Yes. So we deal with those dynamics a lot. Right now we are working in Witbooi and El Dorado Park. We've started this program called GRIP, which stands for Gang Related Intervention and Prevention Program, but getting a grip on it. Yeah. So that's what we're doing.
So the narrative, cool. I mean, we've seen in the recent past with the violence, the gangs and the police and the corruption in those gang areas. How have you been able to be part of that type of circumstance and try and still help young people not get caught up in that and to get a grip?
Yeah, so what we've done is that, so while everybody was going on burning tires and protesting and stuff like that, not that we don't support the action, we understand why, but we've tried to tell people, or parents especially, that parents have a responsibility towards their kids.
Right.
So what we've done is that we've asked parents, so if you can honestly tell us that your son is not involved in the gangs, if you can honestly say that you bought your son an iPhone X or you bought your son a pair of Takis, you know that you didn't. And you know that your son is getting it from somewhere.
You know, you've got it. You know, I got an iPhone X.
Right.
I'm not a gangster though. You know, like why do I feel like you're judging me?
No, not really.
No, I get what you're saying.
So that's the kind of dynamic. So we tell parents that if you have not bought it and your son brings it home, your daughter brings it home, you got to question that.
Yeah.
And what we've also done, so that's what GRIP actually does, is that tell parents to get a grip on the situation. Another thing that we've also done is that we're having midnight sessions with the guys that are in the gangs. So we have a no weapons circle. We always say to the guys, when you come into the circle, please just put your firearm at the door. And you see these guys taking out their firearms and putting them at the door because we're entering a circle where it's totally transparent, where we talk about how does it feel?
What is that sound effect?
How does it feel to be, for the community to be in arms because of what you are doing? And when I listen to these men talk, and share their stories, the fear that they have, the fact that they're also fathers themselves, saying, welcome, we don't know what else to do. There is no better life for us out there. People don't want to give us jobs. People don't want to give us a second chance. The world is just turned their backs against us. So the only thing that we can do is this, what we are doing right now.
And that's their reality, right? You can't discount it. You can't shoot it down. Because not everyone's going to start a business. Not everyone's an entrepreneur. Some people were designed to work for. Others were designed to work with. Others were designed to create employment.
Exactly.
And we know the current situation in South Africa. I mean, there's over 9.6 million people that are unemployed. Young people, and these are the people that are sharing these stories with you. Somehow, as an inspirational speaker, you've got to give them hope. Is that hope defined by your story, or do you have words of wisdom that allows them to realize that actually I can be more than what I am?
My story plays a big role. You know, joining the gangs when I was 12, you know, ran the streets when I was 14, arrested at the age of 17, sentenced to 23 years in prison, spent 14 of those years inside prison. Pollsmoor prison, the most brutalist prison in the Western Cape. And from there, having been a general of the 28s for 7 years, 2,500 men under my control, and having to come out of that world to come and be an example of a positive future was not easy, but it's possible. And that is what my story is about. It's always about that what people deem impossible, it's possible. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 was the verse that I was given. This guy looked at me and he says, welcome, I see potential in you.
A bright future.
I see a bright future, but I want you to read Jeremiah 29 verse 11. And I went and I read it, and it was like, wow, there's a plan, there's a purpose for my life. But I did not know what it was until I had to exercise it, and until I had to move closer to my purpose. So that's the inspiration that I give to many young people, feeling that because I come from a disadvantaged community, I cannot make it out there. But as I'm saying is that I have made it. I've been there, got the t-shirt, got the tattoos, so that you don't have to go into that space. And where am I today? I've acted in an amazing movie called The Forgiven.
I was going to come to that in a while. So I've seen you. I've been privileged enough. We shared the stage together at a conference quite recently, and was really moved by your story. Not because the story was violent or the story. It's obviously mind-boggling for someone who hasn't. I've never been to prison, so I don't know. I've always been scared of gangs. That's why I drive at night. I don't walk at night. I can see too many guys in one corner. I'm gone. But I think the authenticity in which you told the story and how you made yourself vulnerable. I remember the one part where you took your shirt off, and I was actually saying to my daughter, I'm going to ask you to take your shirt off, but we're not going to do it in this episode. Because obviously you are riddled with a lot of tattoos, but the tattoos also are another story of their own.
Exactly.
And maybe one day we'll get you back, and maybe we can share that, because I really think that you have overcome, and you've been at it for 7 years, having overcome. For you're not still trying to overcome. You know what I mean? And it's such a powerful lesson for somebody who's currently in a state where they're trying to get out.
Exactly.
And words sometimes can be very flimsy. You can just say, look at me, guys, and I say, like, we're looking at you. Yes, I can read Jeremiah 29:11, but right now, I can't do it. Right now, I'm in a space where I don't have food, so I've got to hustle for my mom. My dad left me. Those kind of challenges. So let's talk about The Forgiven. What part did you play in that movie?
So what happened is that I was actually brought into the movie to consult, just to show them what the prison process would be like, and how the setup should be, where people should be positioned and stuff like that. And as I was doing that, Roland said,
no, you must be in it.
Bruh, the way you're explaining this, I think you should just play a part. I think that would be best. And so I played a cameo role where I was supporting the main actor, and also being like a voice saying, okay, cool, you've said enough, now move to the next part, But my role was more of the instigator, the one that was just pushing, for something to happen.
Right.
I wanted action.
Yes.
So it was that kind of setup. But the movie in a whole was based on forgiveness, the road to redemption, and why it is difficult for us to forgive. which was quite a powerful message. And looking at what the prisoner Blomveld, who is played by Eric Bana, did, and looking at the role that Forrest Whitaker played by playing Desmond Tutu, how these two guys brought this message across was beautiful.
How was it like acting alongside Forrest Whitaker? And I'm about to annoy my daughter now. Zuri from Black Panther. I've loved Forrest Whitaker from many movies, like I mean, The Last King of Scotland.
Exactly, that was the best.
Brilliant in that movie. But how was it for you, the experience?
I mean, for me, he's humble.
Yeah, ne?
He's humble. You know, that's the thing. Eric Bana was even more humble. He was so engaging. And I think sometimes we put people on certain pedestals thinking that that's where they need to be. But in actual fact, people
they're just like us.
They're just like us. And it teaches us to be humble.
That's it. And they have the same needs. They have the same insecurities.
Exactly.
Same challenges. And we're all human in that way. So what does the future hold for Welcome?
Many great things. I'm working on my series called Soweto Rising right now, which is going to be awesome. I play a character called Scarface with a scar.
So they have to do the whole makeup.
They have to do the whole makeup thingy. But I'm a good guy. But I think that I don't want to be in movies the whole time or acting.
I know. Didn't we have this conversation?
Yeah,
I want to be very selective.
Yeah, I want to inspire.
That's it. So you choose your movies carefully.
Yeah,
because then you have a message to
exactly.
To
and this one that I'm in now is more of a gangster, which is the total opposite of who Welcome is now. Yeah. But I can act that. Because I can play that role.
You know it. You know it. Yeah.
But I feel that at the end of the day, I also want to go on the road and explain that role, especially to young people, because that's what I want to do. Whatever movie I make, I want to go out there and explain it, so that young people don't get a different view of it. And the other thing that I want to say before we close is, it's significant that we talk about this, but I'm looking at 14 years, having been in prison, having been in jail for 7 years, having been out now for 7 years. It's amazing.
Numbers.
It's a complete number. It's like, wow. It's like, I just thought about this as we're talking, and there's such a lot of cubicles behind you, and they all come with the shape of a 7. And I'm like, wow, it's such a interesting message this morning that I'm getting, so it's quite cool.
So if I had to ask you just to share maybe 1, 2, or 3 items for the young people, especially with your experience and your journey, something that will inspire them, motivate them, what are some of the things you'd like to share?
I would say that you are awesome.
You're awesome.
Believe that you are awesome.
Believe in it, right?
Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
Okay.
You are worthy.
Right.
And don't let anybody tell you that you are not worthy.
Right.
Because you are a son and a daughter of a king. That's what you must realize, that you are of royalty.
Right.
You don't need anybody else to tell you that you are not worthy. And the last thing that I want to say, the third thing is, be authentic. Be real. And be yourself.
Be yourself.
That's it. You know, so for me, that's the message for the young people out there. Don't want to try and be somebody else. Don't be a Kardashian. Don't be a Welcome. Don't be an Alex. Be yourself.
Be yourself. Be your original self.
Exactly.
Welcome. Thank you so much for being on the show. And you know I'm going to invite you back, because I think we've got so much more to chat about, so much more to catch up on. And thank you for actually making time to come through today. I know you're quite busy. In fact, you had to rush to be here from another engagement, so we're very grateful for that. And just to wish you every success as you continue to change the world one human at a time.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate being here.
Well, there it is. You had great advice here from Welcome Witbooi, international inspirational speaker, just a downright good guy with nice rings on his hands. Anyway, you know what to do. You need to follow us on all these pages, subscribe, share, like with your friends. And until our next episode, mine is just to say, be good. I'm out.
Thank you. Cool.